SR93 Boxing, I'm back with a quick video. Someone was in the comment section was disagreeing with me, and respectfully, which I really appreciate, because when people disagree on the internet, especially like, even when it's stuff like boxing, which is not even that serious, to be honest. None of us box. We're not attached to these fighters. We probably don't even know these fighters. It's not like fucking family or religion or some shit like that. And sometimes people can be very disrespectful against each other, starting disrespectful shit. And I appreciate someone being respectful. If you now I'm gonna address why I disagree with him, and I feel like a lot of people see it the same way that he do. And shout out to you for being respectful. I think you know who you are. I don't want to like mention names, maybe because they might not appreciate it. They might not like that. So let me go say something. He was talking about Kell Brook justifying in a way that Kell Brook didn't want to fight Spence. And he goes, Brook chose to fight Spence, so how can Brook be not wanting to fight Spence? Now let me say this: just because you chose something doesn't mean you wanted to do that. Like a lot of people want cleaner jobs, but they didn't really want to do cleaner jobs. So it's not really valid. The way Kell Brook was talking, look, a lot of people were saying that he would not fight Errol Spence. It wasn't just Amir Khan. It was a lot of people. Forget Amir Khan for now. Just forget Amir Khan for now, yeah? Anyone, okay, everyone was saying this. A lot of people, a lot of YTBC channels were saying he will try to avoid Errol Spence. And, he went up to fight Golovkin. Now, this is interesting. Kell Brook, who hasn't had a tough fight, there's anomalies. There's Sean Porter and there's Senchenko. There's, I think, Love Moendo. But, the guy had bad losses. Senchenko he's alright, But, again, how many fights did he have out of 30-something fights, right? Before he had over 30 fights when he fought Porter, right before he fought Porter. And how many could you say? It's like, there's a few handful of decent fighters. No, there isn't. And I don't care how, whatever situation you had in terms of money-wise, business-wise, he knows that to make a big name for himself and big money, he has to take the risk. He has to. I remember he was supposed to be fighting for a title eliminator for WBO, I believe, or WBA, WBO, something like. There's so many fucking titles, man. And it was in 2010. But next thing is, he hasn't fought for that, has he? So it's like it's always a problem with him. And I understand people could have injuries. Against Devon Alexander, he pulled out twice for injury, and Devon Alexander pulled out once. And that is possible. It's kind of outrageous, but it's possible. But again, okay, so this is the first top fighter that he was trying to negotiating, and close to being done, and it hasn't happened. He fights Sean Porter. Okay, the fight goes through. He fights. It was a convincing win. Oh yeah, he was also trying to say that Sean Porter got beat by Kell Brook a lot worse than Keith Thurman did. That's debatable, really, because again, yeah, Kell Brook did not get into much trouble against Sean Porter, apart from the fact that he was holding excessively, man. It was like, fuck, man. Keith Thurman did get in trouble a little bit, and but the thing is, like, he got Porter in a lot of trouble. Like, Porter was hurt. Like, Porter was rocked so hard a few times, man. And so, it was really a similar performance, in my opinion. I feel like, yeah, it was really a similar performance. I just feel it was not too much of a difference, apart from the fact that, yeah, Keith Thurman had a bit more difficulty in that fight, but Sean Porter also had way more difficulty than he did in the Brook fight. So, I don't see why there can be too much comparison made there. And, he says also that, I try to make a point that Brook ducked a lot of fighters, and he tried to say that who has he really ducked, and his idea was that, okay, he fought Sean Porter, he fought Gennady Golovkin. Okay, now obviously I'm gonna get into that why he fought Gennady Golovkin, and he just fighting Errol Spence right now. So who is he really fighting? And the Bradley Rios, not the Bradley fight. The Rios, Vargas, actually the Bradley as well, Bradley and Chavez. Okay, these fights, like most of these fights, hasn't been made because of money and business. And he, to a certain extent, you could give him a good point for that. Vargas was asking for a good amount of money, but again, at the same time, Kell Brook, his high, like possibly his highest paid. We don't know what he got against Frankie Gavin and all that. Can't be too much. Kell Brook made against like $400,000 against Sean Porter, and if he was to get 0.5 million against Jesse Vargas, okay, so what? Take the fight. Take the fight. It's more than you made against Sean Porter. These sort of fights will make you get bigger. This is the thing. Like, people are pretending like, oh, he hasn't taken those fights because he wouldn't make much money out of them. That's his fault. He could have made himself a bigger name where he fought these guys. He would have made money. Name is not necessarily given to you straight. Your popularity, name, or the ability to attract crowd and attract revenue. That's something you have to build as well. I mean, yeah, you can have advantages. American to a certain extent could have some of advantages when it comes to making revenue, not necessarily making fans. You see the difference, but making revenue. And there's a lot of British Pakistani and a lot of Muslim people, because there's not a lot of Muslim role models in terms of sports and stuff like that, especially in a sport like boxing, even though there are laws in the amateurs, not in the pro game. So he has a lot of supporters and a lot of people from certain parts of the world where it's somewhat untouched by most other fighters when it comes to the fan base. But other than that, I mean, Kell Brook is what? He's from the UK, and UK fighters can generate. He's mixed race. I mean, should that harm him? I don't think so. I mean, think about this, okay? If Kell Brook fought maybe 2010, 2011, someone like a decent level, okay? He could have fought Senchenko 2000, like Senchenko level opposition is about 2010. He could have fought a bit better opposition, someone that's known, someone like on a level, not necessarily the same person, can be on the level of a I don't know, fucking Soto Caras or Diego Chavez. Diego Chavez is a decent fighter. He's not a top fighter now. I will pick Kell Brook to beat him if he ever fights. And I was picking Kell Brook to beat him anyway, but the thing is he didn't do that. Instead, he took the bomb route. And I don't care if people, I don't buy into the fact that if Eddie Hearn was trying to do that for him. Maybe he was, but at the same time, Anthony Joshua is under Eddie Hearn, and he's getting the Klitschko fight. I believe Anthony Joshua has around 20 fights, maybe even less, but I think he has about 20 fights. He's getting the Klitschko fight. He already has a world title, so I don't buy into the Kell Brook shit. Yeah, Eddie Hearn's trying to protect him, but why is he trying to protect him? Is this team? Did this team came to Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Promotions in 2011 when Kell Brook signed up with Matchroom Promotions, thinking that, okay, yeah, I want to be in the promotions team, but get the easiest fight possible and get with the highest amount of reward. Look, you have to take these fights. If Kell Brook took those type of fights, some decent fights, he would be a bigger name. The Vargas fight would have been a big fight. He would have been able to take it in the UK. You need to be going to fight. You need to fight in the States. The reason why Vargas was asking, one of the reasons why Vargas was asking a lot of money is because he's coming to the UK. He's a world champion. This is another thing, right? Kell Brook wants a lot of money, a decent amount of money, but keep in mind he only made about 400,000 against Sean Porter. I heard 200,000 as well, but those are the two figures I heard. But let's go with 400,000 just for the sake of argument's sake, right? Jesse Vargas is also from what? Because Kell Brook's leverage is the title. He's the world champion. He uses that as a leverage to get some revenue and shit. And sorry, I just came back from something. I paused the video and came back, but I kind of forgot exactly where I was. But roughly, I was talking about the Jesse Vargas fight. So okay, Kell Brook uses that title as a leverage. That's the only thing. Sorry, that's the only thing that keeps him relevant. Without the title, he's not really much. Think about it. And against Amir Khan, he tried to say he's the world champion. He's undefeated. It doesn't mean that undefeated shit don't welterweight. That undefeated shit don't mean shit, because Kell Brook has fought bums for most of his career with few anomalies. And you know, Mekon's undefeated at welterweight as well, so they both have hit the canvas once at welterweight. And yeah, so you know, that title is the only thing, and he was trying to get 50-50 with that title. I'm a world champion, I deserve more. But this is the thing, this is the real thing. Jesse Vargas also has the world title, and Kell Brook could not use that leverage against Jesse Vargas because he has a world title. He's bringing Jesse Vargas to the UK, so he's bringing Jesse Vargas out of his comfort zone into Kell Brook's comfort zone. Therefore, Jesse Vargas is bound to ask for more money, and he said that somewhere. He said, I remember him saying that. And you know, guess what? Kell Brook had no answers. He couldn't argue. He had no choice but to not take the fight because he wanted more money. Well, who cares, man? Take the fight, or go take the fight in the US. But this is the thing: he can't sell in the US unless it's a huge, like a big name, like a Cotto, like a, you know, like a good name as well. Like, you know, yeah, Pacquiao, Cotto, and you know, he'll try to make. He can't sell in the States, which is okay. I mean, he, you know, he makes a lot more money in the UK, and even then, he doesn't make too much. See, this is the thing. The fact that he doesn't make a lot of money, it's not an excuse, but that's his fault. That's his fault because he hasn't fought that type of opposition that Amir Khan has faced, Danny Garcia's faced, even Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's resume, you can take that, the Golovkin. I mean, this guy who's not willing to fight Diego Chavez, and Diego Chavez he fought Timothy Bradley for, I believe, $35,000 US. Whatever it was, you know, the lower end of 5 figures. And you couldn't make a fight with Diego Chavez. You had a injury, and the fight was suddenly void. He could have made himself a bigger name, and he chose to not go to that route. You know, but he's not going to fight Diego Chavez. He's not going to. I mean, I'm still confused on how that fight did not go. Why is it a problem every time he tries to fight a top fighter? Just look at this, okay? Just look at this. He's trying to, this guy who's responded to me, and you know, I have respect for him because he's not trying to get at me in a disrespectful manner. This guy is trying to say that who has he really ducked? He really wants to fight the fighters, but every time there's a mandatory bum, a Kevin Bizier. The Jojo Dan fight, a lot of people started, you know, talking shit, and Amir Khan said no Dan, but you know, I didn't really. Even though I made fun of Jojo Dan in the sense that Kell Brook's fighting him, the truth is, you know, deep down, I didn't make fun of him too much. I was like, okay, I'll give him a pass. The reason why I made fun of him is because it's been Kell Brook's trend. If, you know, someone like a Danny Garcia, someone like a Keith Thurman, anyone else for Jojo Dan on that situation where they were coming for stabbing injury, I'll be fine because their resume will, previous to that, will not be mainly bums. If that makes sense. But Kell Brook's been fighting bums, so it's kind of fed up, like, oh, he's doing it again. But I gave him a pass for that. But then, and I would have given him a pass for that if he continued with the Sean Porter, where he, you know, he left off before that fight, the Sean Porter fight, or at least fight some decent oppositions. No, he fought Frankie Gavin, and there was no reason to fight Frankie Gavin. He's a nobody, no disrespect to him, you know, like, I'm trying to exaggerate shitting on these low-level fighters just to show who the high-level fighters are fighting and why they shouldn't be fighting. I'm not disrespecting these fighters. So, you know, you have to take that into consideration. Also, Kevin Bizier, I mean, the fight went on. The Chavez fight is supposed to go on, but it just didn't happen. And I'm still struggling how the contract became void. You know, okay, so Frankie Gavin fight, bum, easily made. Kevin Bizier, bum, easily made. Chavez, decent fighter, there's always this shit. I mean, injury, okay, fine. Fighters can have injuries. Especially Kell Brook's kind of, you know, he's struggling to make a weight a little bit. You know, he's likely to have injuries. I won't be surprised, but man, you know, how the fuck is the contract void then? I mean, you know, fighters can, like, Klitschko had an injury, but the Tyson Fury fight went on. I guess Tyson Fury had an injury, right? So the fight went on. I mean, the fight went on later, right? Why is that fight suddenly void? Okay, Kevin Bizier, but then guess what he does? Errol Spence is about to become the mandatory, and he avoided. But you know, there's a chance, okay? He wants to take the higher risk, low reward fight. Possible, okay. But again, you're not a big name anyway. Make yourself a big name in the first place. He fights Golovkin, and personally, after all the all the shit that I've seen from his career, I'm not sold that he's fighting Golovkin to daring to be great. I can say that bit about Maycon, but because the Maycon's taking chances, Kell Brook hasn't taken chances in his career. And Maycon's proven that he's fought Lamont Peterson in his own hometown. And the only reason I'm mentioning Maycon is because people compare him to Maycon. That's the only thing Kell Brook fans do. I mean, they compare with, like, not him necessarily. He kind of watches boxing. This guy who responded to me on the comment section that I'm talking about in this video. But a lot of Kell Brook fans, man, they just talk about some fuck shit, man. Other fighters have taken chances, and if they fought a fighter like Golovkin, I would say, yeah, they're trying to dare to be great plus the money. But Kell Brook, I feel like, oh, I might as well just fight Golovkin, and if I take a loss, so be it, because I got money, and people are now gonna say that, oh, he lost against Golovkin, plus his name got bigger, and Kell Brook needs to do that, and he did it in a fight where he pretty much had nothing to lose. Obviously, you know, with his life and shit, but that's another topic. You know, and you know, this is the thing that people try to understand. He comes back down, okay? Errol Spence is mandatory. Actually, he doesn't come back down straight. Like he's thinking about 154 and shit, or 147. He's trying to make the American fight, but he says he needs extension for his eye injury. Okay, why are you trying to make the American fight then in the early part of the year when you need an eye extension? Why are you not trying to make the Spence fight or vacate or it's always some bullshit. You know, this guy pretending to not know Errol Spence. This guy says he can't be bothered to wake up for Errol Spence, but you were able to wake up for Frankie Gavin, Jojo Dan, Kevin Bizier, all of these guys. What happened then? What happened then? And all of a sudden you can't wake up for Errol Spence. Errol Spence that's a decent fight, and you'll be the A side because you have a world title. He doesn't. He's really an up and coming prospect. So there's no money excuse. I mean, it's a decent fight, and people are now thinking, oh yeah, he wasn't scared of Amir Khan. Man, look. Okay, here's the thing. Kell Brook cannot be asking for 50-50 against Amir Khan. I don't think 60-40 is even fair, especially if you get stripped off your title. Because he would have been stripped off his title, therefore the title would not be on the line. He's bringing nothing to the table. And if Kell Brook can't bring a title on the table, then what can he bring? You know what? Saying that Kell Brook deserves 50-50, you know, that's like me, and you know, Khan said no to 50-50. That's like, imagine if I said, and I'm a nobody when it comes to, you know, being a professional boxer. Imagine I said, I'll fight Kell Brook 50-50. Let's see if Kell Brook takes the fight, and if he doesn't, which he probably won't, because who the fuck am I, right? So what am I gonna say? Oh, Kell Brook ducked me? No, man. So yeah, man, Kell Brook didn't duck no one. Bullshit, man. He ducked loads of people. A resume like that, and you've been welterweight for this long, and the only fighter you were calling out was Amir Khan, and Amir Khan was not even in the weight division at the time. I'm SR93 Boxing. I'm out.